And the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force is with me. So be it, Jedi.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is Thursday night. We are thriving here in the Cantina Happy Hour. We're having a great time. We got Star Wars is just blooming, We had the season finale of The Bad Batch. We had another awesome Mando episode. It's been great. We've been having a blast with all of this. I am your host, David. Always good to see everybody. With me, as always, is Debbie. How are you, Debbie?
I'm doing good. Excited to talk about all these episodes. They were so good.
Oh, there was so much stuff to unpack, so we're going to get to all that. Don't worry. Also with us tonight is Cam from Cam and Focus. How are you, Cam?
I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I'm glad to be back. I'm sad that I missed last week.
Forgiven. You are forgiven. Also with us tonight, he is a new cast member for GNN. He's one of our new writers. This is Mr. Dana Martin. He has recently just had his first article published, which was all on Star Wars Underworld. Go check it out. It was a great read. I read it myself. We'll talk about that toward the end. We got shameless self plugs, but yeah, it was great article. So let's dive right into the Bad Batch here. Season 2, two-part season finale, which was kind of a surprise to everybody. An emotional season finale? Yes.
It was. Definitely was.
By the way, before we even get going real good, spoilers. We are talking spoilers. So if you haven't seen The Bad Batch yet, or you haven't seen the newest episode of Mandalorian, go watch that first and then come back and watch us. Easy as that. But anyway, Bad Batch, two-part season finale. The Batch is really thrown into a
bit of a pickle.
A conundrum here, yeah. Because, last season they had Omega kidnapped, bounty hunted Cad Bane, and they got her back before the end of the season. And this time they didn't get her back. So we left, obviously, with a big cliffhanger. We've got Omega captured. Tech. What's your call on Tech? Is he dead, or are they going to bring him back?
I didn't see him personally die, so if they don't die on screen, then they're not dead. That's always my theory.
Darth Maul was cut in half on screen.
Right.
Yeah.
And he came back.
Yeah, I think Dr. Creepy Hemlock probably found the body or found Tech, and he's somewhere in there in the same place that Crosshair is.
I'll buy that.
Okay, so I don't necessarily think he's dead, simply because, kids shows, sometimes they kind of have trouble sticking that emotional landing, but I hope he's dead because I want them to stick that emotional landing. I mean, because in Rebels you had Kanan's death,
yeah,
and you saw how that affected the rest
Everybody.
of the crew. Yes, exactly. It was an extremely emotional, dark moment, and Bad Batch has kind of been lacking on that for the most part. I mean, it has its moments here and there, but when they go for it, I want them to go for it, and if they do go for it, I want them to stick to their guns.
Yeah.
Dana, I'm in a situation where I am 2 episodes behind the last 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
But spoil away because I prefer sometimes to know going in, especially if you're talking the E word there. I can get a little, emotional myself every time in Jedi, every single time. So yeah, no, go away, man. Fire away.
So basically, what happened was they're trying to. They know that that Dr. Hemlock is keeping clones.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do a covert mission to Ilium.
Eridu.
Eridu was playing Galactic Battlegrounds later, and I was playing on Ilium. Eridu. So they're on Eridu. They're having this big
Summit.
Because that's the name of the. Sure, why not? That's the name of the episode. Summit.
Makes sense.
With Tarkin and obviously Hemlock. We find out this was a really good one. I loved this one. Krennic was there.
Oh man!
And Tarkin said it was he wasn't Director Krennic yet. He's still Commander Krennic.
Like, yeah.
So it's Commander Krennic. Tell us the status of Project Stardust.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
Makes everybody happy. Everybody's happy. Well, everybody that enjoyed Rogue One. Dave.
Hey, Rogue One's not my favorite either, but I will admit I squeed a little bit whenever that happened. I was like, "Ooh, we're getting more Krennic, my favorite character from that movie."
Yes. So, and that was really. I don't even think he said anything, did he?
He said I don't remember what the exact words were, but he said some kind of affirmation whenever Tarkin said, "Tell us about Project Stardust." He was like, "Okay," or "Yes, sir," or something. That's all it was.
And then it cut the scene, and it was like, "Oh, yeah. that's all you needed. That's all you needed, right?"
It's like, oh, you couldn't even give me one solid line of dialogue to at least clue me into to whether or not that's Ben Mendelsohn.
Yes, that would have been awesome. Oh, we're gonna have to go through and check the voice. Huh? Now I got to go watch the credits again. Anyway, all right. So, and even if it was, I mean, they could have really just taken a line from Rogue One. I'm sure he said yes at some point during Rogue One, or so you could just grab that and say, okay, whatever.
Are we blind? Deploy the garrison.
Okay, so they had the summit going on. The batch was going to go and put a homing beacon on Hemlock's shuttle. Your cat is just going nuts. Tonight.
That darn cat.
I apologize. Get the.
Oh, you know what it is? Also with Debbie is Chewie tonight. We haven't mentioned Chewie yet, so because
always makes an appearance.
She wants to she has to have her name called, and then maybe she'll leave us alone. Maybe she'll go curl up on the bed now. We've acknowledged her. She's there. Hi, Chewie. Anyway. So they're at the summit. The batch is going to go put a homing device on Hemlock's ship so they can find out where the rest of the clones are. Now, they brought up something that I had watched Jedi this past weekend just because I felt like watching Return of the Jedi. But they brought up something that has always bothered me about Jedi. You know, Jedi, they flew in the Lambda class shuttle and they shuttle Tidarium, what is your, blah, blah, blah. And they sent them the code and everything. And then they just kind of disappeared. Now, you would think that the Imperials, with such a high priority target, would be tracking all of these ships. But they're like, oh, you just let them land, but nobody knows exactly where they went. Parts of the technical crew for the Forest Moon. Okay, where are they now? You said you were coming. But the batch kind of, they touched on that to where they said, okay, we got the code and it works. We got to hurry up and land and get going before they realize that we're not showing up. So, and Echo was back again. Echo.
I heard that. Man.
Yep. Yeah, we've been getting a lot out of Echo this season,
Yeah.
and I like that. You know, in the first season, I kind of made this joke in my Cam and Focus video about the first season. I said, you know, Hunter is this one, Wrecker is this one, Echo is there, and
Echo's just
but
there.
yeah, now they've really given him stuff to do in this season. I'm just like, yes, finally, I liked Echo.
And before they even get to the summit thing, Tech had his little moment with what's her name? The
Fee.
Yeah. And I was like, and I saw all this and I'm like, well, shoot, I guess they did have something going on.
Hmm.
I don't want to say I was oblivious to it, but maybe I was just like, I don't
I
want
think
to.
he kind of was.
I wasn't seeing the chemistry between the two. Maybe that's what it was. Wow. Seen and heard tonight?
Oh
Is
no,
my
that
cat?
no, that's that cat.
Oh, I was like, what?
Whose cat is that?
I was gonna say it didn't really sound like Chewy.
My cat's running around here somewhere, so it's all good. Anyway, okay, so and honestly, that really kind of set up to, you know, she was telling him, "Oh, be careful and don't die," and all this other stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna die. He's about to die." They just set that up, and I don't know. I didn't see it. I mean, I guess Luke had told me. He said, "Hey, it happened like the last episode."
Mhm.
And I just completely zoned out on it. Completely had no clue. Anyway, they take these sky trams to the summit. Then, as you would expect,
down.
everything just kind of falls
Lay
apart. They did the they tried to put the thing on, and then explosions happened, and bang bang, and they all got caught, and they all had to make sacrifices. The rest of the second episode was basically them trying to escape. The whole scene on the tram going back to the shuttle was where
Well, you
we
missed
lost.
the other cameo.
Oh yeah, who did I miss?
Saw.
Oh yeah,
What?
yeah. That's why, because that's
It's
why
all his fault, little shit.
it was all his fault. Everything went to
Always
crap
his fault.
because Saul Guerrero showed up. They were dressed as stormtroopers, and they were trying to destroy the base. They were trying to destroy the summit, and the batch was like, "No, we need them to get away because we need to follow his ship." So
Yep, because he sucks.
who saw?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
had no regard for
I-
the clones.
I never liked his character. Not in
No.
Rogue One, not in Andor,
You're
in.
not supposed to.
But well, no. See, I understand that you're not supposed to, but like, it goes deeper than just I don't like his character. Like I just every time he comes on screen, I'm just like, oh, this guy again.
Oh, here we go.
Well, he wasn't too bad in Clone Wars. It wasn't until after
Mhm.
his sister was killed that he really went
nuts.
bonkers and extreme.
No beer, no pizza. Make Homer something. Go crazy. Don't mind if I do. Sorry. I just had to put the "go crazy" in there. Anyway, so yes, it was Saw and his ragtag group of his rebel cell just causing destruction and dissident. But then we get to the the tram cars, and Echo decided he needed to self-sacrifice to get away. It's too much weight. He was being towed. He said it's Order 99.
Plan 99.
Plan 99. Plan 99.
Which was the name of
Which
the
is title of
episode.
the episode.
And I seen that and I was
no.
like, oh, this is not good because that just goes right back to Clone Wars.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. and
No,
the
that's
fact
pretty
that they
cool
were,
though. The whole 9966.
yeah.
That's a nice throwback.
Well, and they are Clone Force 99, so
Sure. Man, that's cool.
it's
Named after Clone 99 from the Clone Wars.
Who also made a sacrifice to save the team.
oh, so much emotion in all of this.
I appreciate knowing this going in. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh
keep
yeah,
your,
this was
your tissues close.
this one's
man.
a good healthy mix of Michael Bay with Steven Spielberg. So
Nice.
a lot of emotion, but a lot of oh,
Nice.
pew pew pew. They were the clones. Clone Force 99. The Bad Batch was actually shooting the stormtroopers this time. They weren't stunning them. They were full on. And I've been saying that all season. These guys are trying to kill you. Kill
That's
them
one of my
back.
favorite bits from the last episode that I saw where you were losing it. But come on, they are shooting at you. They are trying to kill you. Just kill them.
Just
Totally.
kill them back. So anyway, yes, that was. I was so happy to see that. I was like, oh, and I told Luke while we're watching, I'm like, look, they're not stunning everybody. They're actually trying to kill them. That's great. It's awesome.
Yay, death.
Yay, death. But then everything, when they get on the tram and everything goes back to crap again. Hemlock ends up with, was it Hunter?
Wrecker first.
Wrecker.
It was Wrecker first. And
Because why?
Because Sid sucks.
I told you guys she was going to do it.
You told us, and Fee told us too at the beginning of this season. She said something along the lines of, Sid's gonna betray you before you know it. She'll betray you. And it was like, oh hey, and honestly, I saw that with her there, and she's talking to him like, oh, they're about to get screwed. She's gonna turn them in.
The most character building thing she's done this entire season besides give them their nicknames, and it's this. Because of course it is.
Why not? Hey. Debbie hasn't liked her from the start, and well, now we know why, because she's a bad guy, and Debbie is a wonderful judge of character.
Can it, bandana?
If she doesn't appear in the next season, I won't lose any sleep. or if she does appear, I hope it's them taking vengeance on her. But that's just me. Anyway, so Wrecker gets caught first. Hunter gets caught next. Omega is...
Damn girl. Disobeys once again.
Yeah, and it gets her in trouble this time. And Hemlock offers her, he's like, hey, look, all I really want is you, so I'll turn them loose if you just come with me. Mm-hmm. And it was just a big cluster after that. until we get to the very end scene. She wakes up. They had the I really liked that it was the car crash when the thing crashed into the through the side of the mountain and pulled a whole what was that movie with Keanu Reeves? Speed. And it poked through the hole and everything, and the cinematography with that, where it was Echo's point of view and it was fading in and out, and they're like
Omegas.
Oh, what did I say?
Echo.
Echo.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. Omega.
Did
I'm
we
sorry.
watch the same
My
show?
bad. My bad.
Yeah, it was interesting what they did with that, though. It gave me some real Saving Private Ryan vibes.
I really liked it. I really enjoyed that, because that really puts you as a viewer into what's going on, into what's happening with these people and what they're going through.
Yeah, it gave it a little more depth instead of just watching, as from an outside view, just watching them carry her onto the ship and,
Right.
just watching that. This viewpoint from Omega gave it a much more depth to it, I thought.
Omega.
Omega.
And then Omega ends up in the clone. What do we want to call this thing? Testing center, experiment center, where they're holding Crosshair.
It's the best Western, obviously.
She she sees Crosshair. The other two were conspicuously absent. Was this where Hemlock jumped in and said, "Here's his," and threw the glasses?
No, that
No,
was at the crash
that was back
site.
at Sid's
That was
place.
at the crash site, yeah.
Oh, not Sid's place. My fault.
So they go to Sid's place and he throws the glasses at her, which, again, did he die or do they have him?
Mm-hmm.
Or did they just find the glasses
Yeah. Or did they
and
just
decided to use that?
Are they gonna make their big escape because of Tech? And Tech showed up and he's pissed off now. Who knows? Anyway, it all ended with Omega being in the detention center, and she when that nurse lady or doctor lady, I don't know what she is,
Scientist.
the scientist, the assistant to Dr. Hemlock, started talking, and she called her Omega. I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. She's a clone too. This is probably.
I called that from the very beginning. Like the first episode that we saw that scientist girl in, and she started talking. I was like, she has a Kiwi accent. I guarantee she's a clone.
Kiwi accent. Lovely. Everybody from Australia is obviously a clone.
New Zealand, isn't it?
The voice
Down
actress
that part of the
is
world.
from New Zealand.
So anyway, it ended there. We are left on a cliffhanger. We don't know what's happening with the batch. We don't know where Tech is. So far as we know, the other clones don't know where Omega is.
Yeah, Hunter says we are going to get her back, and we won't stop searching until we find her, or until we do. And I'm like, so next season will basically be like the search for Spock.
Yes.
Mm.
So there we go. Did we miss anything, Debbie? Keeper of the notes.
I don't know. You were all over the place. So
I
couldn't
was all
figure
over
out.
the place.
I think we're good.
Anyway, Bad Batch season 2, 2-part season finale. Go watch it. It was great. Emotional roller coaster. Lots of fun had by all. Now, let's talk Mando, shall we? This week's episode, Dave, if you're watching, and if you watch later, that's fine. I'm going to say these last 2 episodes now have been for you. And for those that don't know, Dave Gramillion, the guy that runs GNN, that does makes all of this possible, he is of the mind that Michael Bay needs to direct a Star Wars film because he wants the and the explosions and everything else. And these last two episodes have been action packed. So we're straying from not straying. We're not following the same formula as Andor, but we're still getting our Michael Bay Star Wars. There you go, Dave. These 2 episodes are for you.
Oh, yep. All that was missing was an American flag somewhere in the background.
And a big
highway. Yeah.
Oh yeah, highway chase. Yeah. So Mando starts off. Where does Mando start?
Navarro.
Mm-hmm. And the Pirate King shows back up. He's pissed off. He was a lot more intimidating, I think, in this one than he was in the first episode. He was a lot. scarier, posed more of, to me, it was more of a threat. So
Well, I mean, he actually did something this episode.
I know,
so that
right?
was.
He didn't just sit there like a fungus on a log. Oh. Aha, he is a fungus.
Funny story.
So anyway, he shows up at Navarro. He's blasting the crap out of everything. He forces the citizens to leave. Carl Weathers decides to call to help for the New Republic. We see
Tiva.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking Mr. Miyagi because he just reminds me of Mr. Miyagi. But
It's the goatee. It's
gotta be that goatee. It's the fact that it's so white. It's just like, I'm like, God, he looks like Mr. Miyagi. He's driving me nuts. So anyway, he says, "Hey, we're being shot up." He goes to Coruscant to try and appeal to the New Republic to go help them. And who is in charge at Coruscant but Tim Meadows? Tim Meadows, the guy from Saturday Night Live and
Mean Girls.
And Goldbergs. He was in the Goldbergs. The Ladies Man.
Mm-hmm.
The Ladies Man was in charge of requisitions at the New Republic. Figure that one out. Shows up, asks for help. The guy says, we'll look into it later. They're not really a member world. We saw another side of the I can't think of her name now either.
Kane.
Oh, evil. She's got an agenda.
We didn't see another side. It's
the same side.
Sneaky.
She's just adding to it. How's that? She's adding to her.
I mean, the way she just kind of oozed herself into the conversation. You know. Oh, by the way, I'm going to the cafe. Do you want anything?
I was like, oh yeah, you didn't mean to do that. Come on now. But and the way he said when he asked her about Navarro, and she was like, "Yeah, I know what's going on down there." Blah 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 blah. And even Mr. Miyagi was sitting there looking at her, going, because he looked at her badge, and Luke asked, "What was the significance of him looking at her badge?" And I said,
because her badge signifies that she was once a Imperial, and she's now in rehabilitation, supposedly.
So
not.
I don't think she's. Yeah, I'm still thinking she's working for Gideon. And
I think she is his inside person.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, judging from what she did to Dr. Pershing, I'm starting to think that she is the rehabilitation.
Yeah, maybe. So anyway, we see her true colors flaunted yet again. Even before that, when he got the hollow disc, when he was at the bar and he got the hollow disc, I said, "Hey," or was it a bar? Yeah, because they were shooting pool and hanging out and everything. And we got one of the greatest cameos of all time. Well, I don't want to say the greatest cameo of all time,
but it was a damn good cameo.
It was a
it came out of nowhere, and he looked so good.
I don't think
he did
come in.
Yeah, there's no other live action of him at all. I don't think.
Nothing.
Right? No.
Amazing. Okay, so for those that don't know, and for those that have not watched The Mandalorian, we got Zeb from Rebels. Okay.
Yes.
His entire species has never been featured at all in live action Star Wars. This was the first time that we got him, and his name was never mentioned, but we're going with it.
IMDb has it, and that is Zeb. Oh, the caption said it too.
Yeah,
it
in mine.
did.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
Oh, I went
So-
straight to. I was like, "Who is it? Is that
Well,
really?"
and Cam even said we chatted before this, and Cam had even said that the voice actor who did that character was also the same voice actor Zeb. So we're going with
Steve
it was
Blum.
Zeb.
Yep.
So
That was
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, when the character came up and I was just like, but I didn't want to get my hopes up. But then as soon as he started speaking, I was like, yes.
Zane Martin's on. Hey Zane, how are you?
Oh, my goodness.
Cool, really faithful to the Rebels design.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I completely agree. It looked great. And of course all of this is going to tie into Ahsoka. We've got the Ahsoka show coming up. We already know that Sabine Wren is confirmed for that. I believe Ezra's now confirmed.
Yep.
And we know they're hunting for Thrawn. So
Oh my god.
do we have a Thrawn? Are we gonna? I'm calling it now. We're gonna see Thrawn at the end of the Mandalorian, of this season of the Mandalorian. I'm gonna call it because
He's going on record.
well, because the scene, and this was a few episodes back where they were where they bombed the crap out of
Bo's Castle.
And then all of a sudden the TIE interceptors show up, and there was like a lot of them. And he said something. He said, "I think that armament's a bit much for just a warlord," or something along that lines. So I'm like, "Oh, is this?"
And then I said, "Who else would have that many inceptors?"
So I'm calling it Thrawn at the end of this season, and that will help loop in with Ahsoka. Calling it now. In fact, it wouldn't. Ahsoka may have Mandalorian season 3.1 in it. They did it with Boba Fett. Why wouldn't they do it with Ahsoka?
Well, they're all connected. I don't know why people get all up in arms about it, because they're all connected. So yeah, they're going to appear in each other's shows.
I get it. It's perfect. It's like poetry. It just runs together. It's beautiful.
Yep. Now here's hoping that Thrawn is played by Nicolas Cage.
No. I love Nicolas Cage, but no.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Well,
I would
he
be
does
so
have experience
upset.
working with Pascal, so
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
See, they've already got chemistry.
Everybody's already seen the meme. There's millions of memes out there with that one scene in it where they're driving along. So, yeah. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, go look up the Nick Cage meme. You'll get it. So we had Zeb. That was all kinds of exciting. He only had a couple of lines, but regardless,
it was enough.
It was enough. It was enough to establish that was the character.
My wife looked at me and said, "Are you 12?" I'm literally going, "That's Zeb. Oh my god, that's Zeb. That's Zeb. Oh my god." Like, she's like, "What?" Just yeah.
Nick Cage, Austin. Hi, Austin. How are you?
Yeah,
Nick Cage's
agreed.
Thrawn would be sick.
See,
Okay.
somebody agrees with me.
There we go.
No, people, please, no.
Make it so. This is the way.
This is the way.
I mean, I have my pick only because some of the book covers that he's been on, he looks exactly like Jason Isaacs. Exactly. But
exactly like Nicolas Cage.
No.
Jason Isaacs wouldn't be too bad though. You're talking that was Malfoy, right?
Malfoy, and he also voiced the Inquisitor in Rebels.
He also did gosh, I just saw a movie with him in it the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Malfoy. Yeah.
Yes, I would like Benedict too, but I doubt that'll happen.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Hi, Zane. How are you? Oh, we got you a minute ago, Zane. I apologize.
Dave's not with us today.
I'm not. I'm off my game. I'm drinking my decaf tonight. I should be drinking my regular coffee tonight. Anyway, okay, so he sends the New Republic says no, we're not going to help him. So he goes and he hunts down the Mandalorians. He finds them in their alcove. And again, we have this thing where he says, "How did you find us?" And he said, "Well, we've got somebody on the inside with you guys. He served with me in the rebellion." And of course, there's R5.
Mm-hmm.
And when what's her name gave him to him, he said, "Oh, he's a hero of the rebellion." And I'm like, okay, so he blew himself up to let R2 go, big whoop. But now apparently R5 has got this. They're going to come out with a comic book series strictly for R5. How was he a hero of the rebellion?
Yeah, it's gonna come back that R5 was the real Rebel Alliance leader.
Yeah.
And what was so funny was because, in previous seasons, Din didn't trust droids.
Yeah.
And so now he's coming around to where he's starting to trust them.
Now he can't trust them at all again.
And then R5 goes and snitches on him. So it's like, oh shit.
And we got some good stuff out of Paz Vizsla again, which I really like him. Jon Favreau's doing amazing things with him. So
that is not Favreau. It is played by somebody else. If you look in the credits,
Isn't the voice
I
Favreau?
think the voice is Favreau, though, isn't it? Are you sure?
No, Favreau's not even credited. It don't even sound like Favreau, but yeah, it's a different actor.
His helmet still looks too small.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured out why. Because most Mandalorians, they've got the thing goes all the way to the back. His cuts up and then goes around. So it looks, it's just the front part of the face shield. And then it goes. So I was looking at it and I was just like, his helmet still looks
like he doesn't have a neck. Yeah, something. I don't
yeah. His head's too small for his body. Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, all the Mandalorians are getting together to go off world, and he's gonna come up like, "Travel with caution."
So anyway, but we get some good one-liners out of him. I really liked it with the where he says something like, "We can't let him leave. We could just kill him right now." Hilarious.
He had some good one-liners, but that speech he gave was pretty solid.
Oh my god!
Yes,
that's a stand-up.
And honestly, I was like, "Oh my gosh, seriously? They just rescued your kid, and you're gonna turn on him?" Mm-hmm. And then he says something like, "Hey, we're Mandalorians. This is what we do," and he saved my son, so this is the way. And everybody's like, "This is the way," and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna get good now," because there's a lot of them in there. There's a lot of them Mandalorians in there. It's like they went to Comic-Con and said, "Okay, everybody who's in a Mandalorian outfit, y'all are coming with us, and we need you as extras. So let's rock and roll."
Oprah drops in, "You're in the Mandalorian. You're in the Mandalorian."
Everybody here's in the Mandalorian. So they go to Navarro. The plan is for Din to draw the snub fighters off while Bo drops the troops in at various spots. I thought the ground and air battle was
good stuff.
Again, so good, and really just the when she flew in, even flying to drop them in, was awesome. Just the cinematography on that, and the way the cameras were moving, the way that they fell, and then you're like, okay, well they're about to parachute, and then they take on their jetpacks and they kind of float down. I was like, oh, so
like a lot of this episode has felt the most like military that Star Wars has felt.
Yeah. I don't know. Rogue One was pretty good. If you really Rogue One really hit home with me, especially as someone who has served in the military. But yeah,
sure,
yeah. This one, yes, I'll agree with you. It's been a very, very military the way they moved into position, the way they were firing and shooting and carrying on. Even the armor got into the action. So
That was awesome. I mean, she just used her tools,
and
her
She don't
hammer
need
and her
guns.
tongs.
Oh my gosh.
when
When
she
you
did,
see her walking with it hanging by her side, you're like, oh, it's on now. It's
I honestly, I was like, oh yeah, it's about to get good. She's gonna throw down now because we know she can do it. She did it in the first season when the stormtroopers attacked the culvert. So it was like, oh, it's about to go down right now. What I didn't understand was why the guy firing the cannon didn't notice her beating the crap out of everybody else behind.
They're pirates. They're out for themselves. They don't care.
Yeah, but if I'm, holding a pretty important position in this battle, and I'm hearing my guys behind me getting the crap beaten out of them, I think
I'm
I might
gonna
at
turn
least
around and say something ain't right.
I might at least do one of these.
well, in all fairness, he is Trandoshan, so doesn't have the big sensory hearing, and
Hey, that's
maybe
racist.
speciesist. Wow.
So they liberate what's it called?
Navarro.
I know. They liberate Navarro. The Navarroans basically say, you're welcome here. Grief designates a plot of land for them to live on. Then we get this scene with what?
You missed something very important. The name of the canyon.
Which was?
Bullock. After Jeremy Bullock.
Oh, for Boba, yeah. And Jeremy Bullock was Boba Fett, so
yeah.
I've got my
Oh,
autograph.
I didn't
nice.
pick up on that. Dang,
I
nice.
missed that completely.
That's why I'm here. That's why I take millions of notes.
Debbie's the scribe. So.
Yeah, and research, whatever.
I mean,
I don't know
45
what I
minutes in, I'm starting to get the feel of which one's the mage. I'm feeling it out. I've got this.
I could picture right now Debbie as a teenager sitting in her room. Dear diary, the scene starts with blah 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 blah.
All right. So they give him a plot of land between the lava fields and Bullock Canyon.
That's cool.
That they can stay at. Then we get this cool scene with the armor and
what the hell was with that?
I don't know. No, actually I do know. I kind of get it. I understand it because when she came out, or she told her, she said, take off your helmet. And she's like, whoa, hey, because she's kind of diving into this whole cult thing. She's like, I'm not going to do that. And she's like, no. You're fine. Do you doubt my position? Because you're fine. You are a Mandalorian, but you are also literally from Mandalore. So you've got nothing to worry about. You've been with both sects of the Mandalorians.
Yeah, I mean, she's part of the royal family.
Mm-hmm.
She's a daywalker, is what she is. She is Blade. She is the all of the strengths, none of the weaknesses. Sorry.
Okay, well, see, don't say that because now I'm gonna go into the next episode hoping that she gets a whole bunch of kills, and then she just does.
So she brings her out. She doesn't have her helmet on. Paz doesn't. He doesn't like scold her or look down on her. She's like, he just says, but she doesn't have her helmet on. It's like, okay, are we doing something new? And I guess mainly because she's doing it with the armor, and the armor is bringing her out. But again, I understand, like I said, why she did that, and that was because the armor realizes that she can unite Mandalore. She can unite the different sects and clans and whatnot that are all out there that, and because she can move between both sides, basically. So,
Or was this Bo's plan all along? Here's my theory.
here we go. Lay on some theory.
The armorer is the only person she tells about the mythosaur, correct?
Right.
And so that really means something to the armorer, because they all thought it was a myth, or a legend, or they really
Long extinct, even.
Yeah, long extinct. So, with her saying that she saw the mythosaur, does that trump the dark saber? And was that Bo's plan all along?
I'm gonna say, I think I saw a video on this on YouTube, and they were saying that they think that the mythosaur does trump the dark saber because the mythosaur was first. We didn't have the Jedi Mandalorian until later on, after everybody was already riding mythosaurs. So the mythosaur is the larger icon of power.
The first icon of power.
Yeah. That's the theory I'm buying into at this point. Mainly because I don't want to see her and Den have to duke it out over the dark saber.
Yeah, that's oh, John.
John Biscardi from the GNN podcast. Boca Raton, I'll see your dark saber and raise you a mythosaur.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if that was kind of Bo's plan. Maybe not a plan, but that's what she was going for. And yeah, thinking that the mythosaur would definitely trump the dark saber.
I don't know. I mean, she seemed genuinely put off by the armorer's reaction to it. And you could see that she was visibly shaken from seeing the mythosaur. I think that I think the armorer being somebody in a position of power, and Bo-Katan herself being somebody in a position of power, I feel like she felt more inclined to confide in her because I don't know, maybe the armorer was just seemed more trustworthy or something. I don't know.
Who's she gonna tell?
Well, I think too a lot of it has to do with the fact that Bo was the only one that saw the mythosaur. Den was down there, but he was unconscious at the time. So
he was dazed and confused.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the armor looking at Bo and saying you're the one is because she's the only one that has at this point who has seen the creature itself.
I don't know. I think I'm not going to say I don't trust Bo, but I don't know. There's just an ulterior motive, because I think she truly likes Din, and the thought of defeating him or killing him to get the dark saber in order to, rule Mandalore, I don't think she really wants to do that. So this whole mythosaur thing is her back door.
Now, does she like Den or does she like Den? Because I've seen a lot of people saying that too, to where, okay, she's got the mythosaur, he's got the dark saber, king and queen of Mandalore right there.
Mommy and daddy to Grogu.
Yeah.
The continuing
McCormick, she never mentioned it to Den.
Right? They'll be continuing Star Wars' tradition of having, a girl twice as old as a boy going out with the boy.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And you said something about not trusting Bo-Katan as well, but you gotta remember, in the Clone Wars, when we're first introduced to Bo, she's bad guy. She was
part of Death Watch.
She was part of Death Watch. So, I mean, there may still be some. She's really developed as a character, but there may still be some evil underlying intentions there.
Well, I think she still feels entitled.
Go
I
ahead,
guess.
Dana.
No, I was saying that just what you were saying, Debbie. When we have that scene in the previous episode where she's just sitting in that, just I'm gonna have to kill him, like whatever. She had aspirations of being much more than what she is today, and I think you're spot on. I think using the mythosaur is a way that she can achieve what she wants to achieve without harming Den, because I really do think there is a like with at least her to Den, and maybe the other way too. But I think it was really evident when he visited her that second time and she was like, "Oh, I'm through with you." No, there was a little tension there, I thought. But how many
different ways captioning isn't getting how Bo is spelled?
But throughout her past, I felt like, yeah, she always had aspirations to be more than what she was in her station. She was from the royal family. She's destined to do this. So what do I have to do to get there? But I don't want to harm those that I actually might care a little bit about.
It's just my theory.
That's why I'm thinking she gets the mythosaur, he gets the dark saber,
and I wouldn't be mad about that.
No, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't. It'd definitely be cool.
Maybe she'll pull in Elia Kane and just kill Din at the last minute.
No.
She'll hire some guy.
She set the precedent. It's now a possibility.
She'll hire some guy known as the Mountain to kill Din.
Yeah.
I still don't know what that means, but I know what it stands for, so I can make a funny.
Are you referring to Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones?
Oh, okay.
Pedro Pascal was apparently killed by somebody called the Mountain.
Oh yeah, he was destroyed by this guy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Again, haven't watched Game of Thrones. It's on my list of things. It's all done now, so I can watch all of it, and I don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, next week's episode, you're killing me. Yes, absolutely. And she showed that with the little living beast thing on Mandalore, the living machine. So, then we roll into this. It's the last scene. It's almost like a post-credit scene. That's kind of the vibe I got from it. I think Moff Gideon is a former Mandalorian. Maybe.
Oh, I have theories galore.
Whoa.
I have theories galore when we get there.
So we get to
Teva.
And he's looking at a ship, a Lambda shuttle. He sends a little scout thing in there, a probe, like Captain Picard. Send the probe
off of his droid.
Off of the droid's head.
Yeah, that was
I've
cool.
never seen that before. That was a new one.
That was a good one.
Cool.
Oh, well, why not? I mean, it makes sense.
It was the same thing that you saw that R2 had on Dagobah whenever he fell into the lake and that little camera popped up. It was the same thing. It just wasn't deployed.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this was an upgraded R2 unit that didn't need to have it attached all the time.
Hey, nothing is more upgraded than R2D2.
Bluetooth. Yes, John, you are absolutely right. That's exactly what I was thinking when he's doing the scan across the ship.
Yeah,
it's right out of Aliens. You're absolutely right.
I was waiting for the drips.
But they scan it. They find the flight crew. They do some digging. They find out that this was Moff Gideon's transporting him to the trials. And obviously it didn't make it. The crew is dead, but Gideon's not there. And there is a small piece of Beskar embedded in the hull. And the last thing said was, "Do you mean that Mandalorians did this?" And I'm just like, don't jump to conclusions now. I mean, let's think about this. And Gar Saxon, maybe Moff Gideon was a Mandalorian, and maybe Gar Saxon's men are liberating him. My thought on it is that the Imperials took over Mandalore and they had all the Beskar, and they stole all the Beskar during the Purge. And we know this because when Din was hired to find the child in the first season, that's what his reward was chunks of Beskar with the Imperial logo
With
on
the
it.
Imperial logo, yeah.
So
And Gideon was the client.
yeah, and I'm just looking at it going, you know what? This was Imperials that did this, and they're still using the Beskar that they've got. That's my theory anyway. And I think Thrawn did it. That's why I think we're going to have Thrawn by the end of this.
I have a couple theories. Thrawn was one of my theories that, of course, we all know Thrawn is like 20 steps ahead of everybody else. So that's a theory that it could be Thrawn. Another theory is that maybe he upgraded his Dark Trooper armor. The one I like is that it was actually Praetorian guards.
Oh, First Order. Oh, we're bringing
because
in, we're tying
when
everything together, are we?
Yeah, because Gideon ruled over Mandalore after the Imperial took over.
Yes, Matt, we got the ladies, man.
You're a little late.
Yeah.
Would you like a fish sandwich? Yes.
So, anyways, yeah, when he took over or ruled over Mandalorian, he had a group of Mandos that were very loyal to him, and they were Praetorian guards, Mando Praetorian guards. So it could have been them.
I hope so, honestly, because
I know you would.
Oh yeah, y'all know I love the Praetorians. I think them guys are awesome.
My thought on why I think this is Thrawn, because Thrawn is, as we all know, Thrawn is a master tactician. He knows how to put the pieces of something into play. And we also know from was it Book of Boba Fett, maybe, or maybe it was season 2 of The Mandalorian, where the armor says we don't make our weapons out of Beskar, we make our armor out of Beskar. So the fact that there is a chunk of Beskar where it's like, oh, well, this was a Beskar bolt fired from a blaster or whatever, I don't see that. And I think Thrawn is there throwing the Beskar in either to throw the New Republic off or try and point the blame at somebody else so that they can continue doing their stuff behind the scenes.
Well, there was a couple in this one I don't agree with at all, but there were a few people on TikTok, and I think I even seen it on Facebook and Twitter a couple times, but they were all saying that it was Sabine. And I was like, that makes no sense whatsoever.
Sabine freed Gideon?
Why would she?
That's what I'm saying. That made no sense whatsoever.
No.
But I don't know where they got that. I guess it was just, okay, well, we're starting to introduce the Ghost Crew. We just had Zeb, so this is a way to get Sabine in there. But I don't see her taking Gideon unless she thought it was a way to bring out Thrawn. Because that's what she's doing right now. She's looking for Thrawn.
And we know that because of last season of Mandalorian. So that they're hunting Thrawn. They're hunting Thrawn and
Ezra.
Ultimately Ezra. Yes.
Yeah.
So
man.
Still think Ezra's dead, but
you stop that right now.
Nope.
No, I'm serious. I'm still of the mind. Hey, went through hyperspace in an open ship.
My boy is alive and kicking.
Force bubble.
There's always a way around the Force. I know that's not how the Force works, but it does. It does work that way.
You see, life finds a way.
Life found a way. Okay, Debbie, did we miss anything? We unpacked a lot in this Mandalorian episode. A lot of
No.
good stuff.
I think we caught the majority.
From the ladies' man to Bullet Canyon. So, yes, Matt, we did talk about the ladies' man. Tim Meadows, we love him. Yeah. Zane, you just showed me up. Yes. If Leia can fly, then Ezra.
Thanks.
All right, fine.
Nice. Very nice, Zane. Very nice.
Fine.
I like
Whatever.
it. And it rhymes.
Whatever. Oh, Lordy. All right. Shameless self-promotions. Debbie, you got anything?
Tomorrow night, Friday night, I will be with Mr. John Biscardi of the Geek and I podcast, and we are talking Picard season 3. And this week's episode was.
Did y'all do a marathon episode last week? Or did you
I think it was like an hour and a half. We
Okay.
kind of touched on, because we were like 3 episodes behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of touched on the first 2 episodes, and then we really dug into that 3rd episode. But we're all caught up, so we're only talking about this week's episode. And once again, it was very good, and I am so confused as to what the hell's going on. So,
is Q involved?
He has not shown up.
Oh.
I like
Has
that
he shown
answer.
up in any of the seasons?
Has
he been in any of the seasons?
He was in season 2.
Okay. All right. Cam, shameless self-promotions.
My new Cam and Focus video on the film Sicario came out, what was it, last week? A few days ago. I think it
was last week. Yeah.
Last week.
And it racked up views faster than almost any other video I've done. And in that video, I talk about why the climax of that film that doesn't have any action in it is so effective. Check it out if you haven't. I really love that film. Denis Villeneuve is my all-time favorite director, and he kills it with this movie.
Very cool. Dana, shameless self-promotion. Oh, talk about your article now. We can talk about your article. You are welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you. The floor is mine. There's an article up on GNN for Disney. Did they already give us Star Wars Underworld? I was surfing around Facebook and saw this clip come back up from that kind of 9-minute, 10-minute teaser from years ago. So I started digging around, and really you can see through the article at the end of the day, I don't want to take it all away. I want you to read it. Disney's already done this, but in the form of many things. And we're talking about the underworld of Coruscant and the kind of seedy characters and the villains and et cetera, et cetera. We have that through Andor and Rogue One, and the list goes on. So kind of talks about that and touches about it, that it'd be cool, I guess, if we did, but we don't really need one. We're getting plenty of that right now.
We just need more.
More.
I was so disappointed when that show was canceled, and I was very disappointed when they canceled the game 1313.
1313. I brought that up as well. Like, that would have been a way to interact with that underworld. There's a book right before Disney took over. I was in the middle of right before the Vong War, and I can't remember which one it was, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter anymore.
It always matters. Hey, on this show, sir, we like legends and canon. Okay.
It just, there was they were on, like I said, I don't remember what book. Bacta comes from Twi'lek's, what's the planet? Can't remember where Bacta comes from. The planet that Bacta comes from. Anyway, CD Underworld.
I can't remember either.
I know.
Is that right?
Ryloth.
Yeah.
Thank you. So there's like the kind of the underground Ryloth. The book goes through all these bits of following this Twi'lek through everything. It was really gritty, really adult, just really good. And I think watching The Mandalorian and seeing how with Rogue One was even kind of the military piece brought out, I know Freddie Prinze Jr. went crazy saying that Star Wars is for kids, but I think those kids grew up into Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, these guys, so they're making what they wanted, what we always wanted to see, the show evolve with us. Granted, George Lucas didn't see that, and so what? It's not yours anymore. What's really cool is we're getting what I think we wanted during those times back about 20 years ago. So
back in the well,
I say 20 years ago, and I'm stabbing myself in the
Jeez,
heart.
I was gonna
Right,
say,
yeah.
was it 20 years
Folks.
ago? Because now I feel more ancient than I usually
know,
do.
right?
2008. I think it was 2008 when they made the announcement, or 2000. I put it in the article. I don't recall now.
Yeah.
2007 they made the announcement, so you're looking at 15 years. 15 years, but
Still,
still.
yeah, my kids
Still.
were young, so
I know,
It
right?
was- I mean, I remember growing up, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, growing up with 3 movies and like 6 books,
Yeah.
7 books. So you had the 3 Han Solo books, the 3 Lando Calrissian books, and Splinter of the Mind's Eye, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 1985, they stopped selling the toys, and the Ewoks cartoons went off, and there was a period between
God for that, though.
1985 and
the Dark Ages.
the dark times. Everybody's complaining, oh, Disney's messing up Star Wars. And I'm like, hey, some of us grew up in a time when there was no Star Wars. So
Mm-hmm. In our formidable years, too. I love it. Yeah, I think I'd gotten through like 30 or so of the novels. And then when all that happened, I kind of threw a fit. But it's okay. I'm over it, sort of.
Lovely. As far as my shameless self plugs, though, John MacArthur also lived through the dark times. Yep. Geek. Oh, by the way, Dana's article is on geeknewsnow.net.
Sorry.
Check it out. No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. We're gonna plug everything here in just a minute. Myself and Dave Gramillion in June will be at Dallas Fan Expo for 3 whole days. 3 whole days. They've just added Zachary Levi to the guest list as well. So we will have Zachary Levi. We're going to get Christina Ricci's going to be there. So we'll have the original Wednesday Addams. Well, not the original Wednesday Addams, but Wednesday
The
Addams.
revival
one.
Wednesday.
The second
sure.
one. Yes. Thank you. Hayden Christensen's going to be there. It's going to be good. James Arnold Taylor and Ashley Eckstein and I can't think of his name now, and I should because I talked to him last time. Matt Latner. Matt Latner, who voiced Anakin in. So we'll have the Clone Wars group there.
That's awesome.
And I have to find my picture with him because we had a lot of fun with him.
And Celebration is this weekend.
Which
I guess John McCormick is going to. You lucky duck, you.
Dog. Must be nice.
If you get anything for me from Kenobi in Hayden.
I'm
and Pedro.
Lego fan here, so if you want to get me like an exclusive
next week. Is it next weekend? I thought it was this weekend.
Oh.
Well, my bad.
All right. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for us. Check out geeknewsnow.net. Check out the website. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Twitch. We actually just had a very long 12-hour stream last weekend for one of our people's cousin. Her name was Whitney. She's fighting cancer right now. There's a GoFundMe page. Go check out our Facebook page, and you'll see the live stream, and you can get all the details on that. We're trying to raise money for her. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram,
TikTok,
all over everywhere. Geek News Now is everywhere, but you got to look up Geek News Now. Don't look up GNN because then you get some kind of news site from somewhere else.
My bad.
So anyway, go check us out. All the social medias, Geek News Now. We will see you all next week where we will have no Bad Batch and we're strictly Mandalorian. Y'all have a great week and may the force be with you all.